What's going on, man? I'm sitting here thinking about like what is going to take your food to the next level. And, is it cooking techniques? Not really. Is it making sure that you have the best ingredients ever, which you're going to spend a lot of money on? No way. It is. It comes down to proper seasoning. And let me tell you what is the number one seasoning on earth. It is salt. That's right. A little something we like to call salt. So you don't have to be French to make good food. You have to know how to properly season or add the right amount of salt. To properly season food, that is the difference between restaurants and home cooks. As home cooks, they'll sometimes add a little bit of salt, right, to their food, but sometimes restaurants add a little bit more. And when people see me who aren't familiar with the restaurant world of seasoning, they think that it's going to be too salty. In the restaurant world, we practice a lot more than the home cooks. We're seasoning everything every single day. And if you're one of those people who think, well, I never use salt, I don't like salt, not so sure about that. McDonald's and all the fast food chains and, well, all the restaurant chains or all the restaurants in the world are going to say that people like food seasoned. So if you don't use actual salt the way it is, maybe you use garlic salt, maybe you use soy sauce, other sauces are seasoned. Almost everything that comes from the manufacturer is going to make sure there's salt in their product because they want it to taste the best. If you've ever had a French fry that's not been seasoned, you don't even want to swallow it. It's no good. So seasoning is the king. Salt is the king or queen, depending on your viewpoint on things. Let's go with queen. Salt is the queen, and you've got to treat the queen with respect. How do you know how much salt to use? Well, if it's in a recipe, then it'll let you know. But a lot of times the recipes say season to taste, meaning however much salt you like, then that's how much you put in there. But if you cook something, let's say chicken breast, you cook the chicken breast and it seems like it's kind of okay, but it needs something. Anytime I hear it needs something, salt is the first one I go to. So you can cut it up, take a bite, chew it, think about it. Do you like it? Does it need something else? And if you think it does need something else, hit it with a little bit of salt, give it another taste. Most likely that's going to help it out. We don't want to taste the actual salt on the food. What salt does is it highlights, it accentuates, it elevates the flavors of the food, right? So it doesn't impart flavors, different herbs and spices and smoke, right? That gives flavor to the food, but the salt just enhances it. That's why, again, anytime I hear, well, it's good, but it needs something, it just says maybe the flavors aren't quite bright enough. Add a little bit of salt and try it again. Think about all the products you buy from the store that are either fully prepared or partially prepared. Everything from bread to boxed items to freezer items to canned items. Fresh items, no, because just like Emerald used to say, I don't know where you get your tomatoes, but where I get mine, they don't come seasoned. Bam, bam, bam! That may be a smidge extreme, but he is dead on. If it has no salt, it's just not going to taste as good as it could. Through this series, I'm going to talk about different things to make your food taste better. So please like, subscribe, share, all of that stuff. But most importantly, follow what I'm talking about, and let's make food taste great again. All right, let's talk more about this series. We're going to do a flavor seasoning series. We're going to talk, we've talked a little bit about salt. We'll continue on with salt, the different types of salt, kind of what everyone does, the flavors they impart or don't impart. We're going to get into different acids. Acid is going to be extremely powerful and kind of accentuating flavors. So whether it's lemon juice, different vinegars, red wine vinegar, the standard distilled vinegar, balsamic, blah, blah, blah. Lemon juice, if I didn't say that. So we'll get into acidity, we'll get into fat content of whatever food we're, kind of trying to season, because the fat content really does play a large role in how much salt that we add or how much seasoning And we may want to grab some of that vinegar. Yes, we don't do that with vinegar, but we'll want to grab the vinegar and dump that on there. But yeah, there's a lot to do with seasoning that a lot of recipes won't tell you. And when you listen to expertise like me, no, but really it'll help you out. You'll be able to, just kind of whip things up without a recipe. That's the ultimate goal in here, is to make you cook without needing a recipe, without even wanting to follow a recipe. So no measurements. You'll just kind of be flim-flam. I call it grandma theory. Grandma used to know a whole bunch of stuff about food she couldn't tell you, like from a from the educational culinary book. She couldn't tell you, what most of that was, but she knew it. She may not know the fancy names. So I'm just trying to get you guys cooking without a recipe. And now a word from our sponsor. If you are thinking about attending culinary school or skipping culinary school, going straight into the field, this is the book for you. This is Fork in the Road, the guide to culinary school success, or how to skip it altogether. So this book, it lays out a lot of what I did to get promoted, and really it seems like going to culinary school will be easy. It's not necessarily always easy. There's a lot of stuff that's really not spoken of. I taught for 10 years, and I really want to help you out be the best cook you can be, whether it's going to school or not. I'm down with both ways, but in both situations, there are things that you either should do or shouldn't do. Some things to pay attention to, some questions to ask. So I'll put a link in the description below. Click on that, go to Amazon, click order 1 or 2 or 4 copies, and it'll be sent to your door. Peace. See ya.